few days ago, probably a good week ago, we had problems that looked like this. And we have problems that look like this. You remember seeing something like that before?
Yeah.
Okay. If I look at this, this is 3 times g equals 15. How would you solve it? Don't tell me what g is. Tell me what you do to get there to get what it is.
3 divided by 3.
Okay, hold on. How did you know it was dividing?
The 3 and the 3 are right.
Okay, that means multiply, right? To undo multiplication, I have to divide. So this is how I would solve this problem. Okay, g is going to be 5. Okay, this is what we're doing today, only we're going to insert an inequality sign in there. Okay, it's doing the same stuff, only we're putting in an inequality sign. So let's go back to one that looks like this. What's happening in that problem? You're dividing, right? So what do I have to do to undo division now? Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 2 to get x by itself, and if I do it to this side, I got to do it to the other side. So x here would be 28. Remember that stuff? Okay, so today we're doing the same stuff, only we're inserting an inequality sign. So I have 8x is less than or equal to 40. I want x by itself.
5.
Tell me how to get there. Don't tell me the answer, because that's not the answer for an inequality. How do you write the answer for an inequality? You have to write it into the format, right? So
X is less than or greater than 5.
right, so you're going to divide by 8. Divide by 8. This cancels out, so you're going to have x is less than or equal to 5. So then, okay, what are some things x could be? X could be 4. It could be 3. It could be 2. Well, let's pick something out. Let's pick 2. Let's put 2 in here. 8 times 2 is 16. Is that less than or equal to 40? Yes. If I pick 5, if I put 5 there, 8 times 5 is 40. Is 40 less than or equal to 40? Yes. So I'm finding every single thing I can put in for that x to make it true. That's why I have to write it in an inequality format. Okay, Matthew?
Are we doing graphing?
Yeah, you're going to have to graph. I'm not going to graph right now. We'll graph in a little bit. I'm not going to take away the graph because you already know how to do that. Let's go to one that's like this. Okay, if d divided by 2 is greater than 7. D divided by 2 is greater than 7. So, if I have division here, what do I have to do to undo it? Landon? Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 2. Cancels out. If I do it on this side, it's got to happen over here.
14.
I have d is greater than 14. So, what are some things 14 could be? D is greater than 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 17, 20, 25, 30, Yep. 1 billion. So anything that I put in here that's greater than 14, if I put 16 in here, 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 is greater than 7, makes it true. So anything greater than 14 is going to make that inequality true. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you 2, and I want you to do them by yourself quick. Okay. Make sure they're in inequality format. Okay, first one, anybody want to give it a whirl? In inequality format, Mason, what is the answer?
X is greater than or equal to 5.
Correct. Good job. Good job. Anybody want to try with this one? Daily?
D is less than 12.
Yep, D is less than 12. Let me do one more for you. You don't have to write it down. I just want to show you. Let's say I have 15 on this side, and it looks like this. Okay? What would I do? Still do what?
Divide.
Divide by 3. I got to divide this with a variable. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Now, this is how the answer would be written though.
5 is greater than
5, thank you, is greater than W. I have a lot of people that mess that up. They think, oh, I'm going to put the W to it first. I'm just going to flip these 2, but I'm going to keep the same sign. You cannot do that. You can have this Or this means the same thing, that this has to be the bigger side, has to be closer to 5. Same thing. All right, so now there's one big rule that is totally new to everybody in here, and this is what it is. You have to get this in your notebook or somewhere where you're going to remember. And I'm going to put a word here, inequality. Like this is one you're going to want to circle, write in bold, like, you know, put some marker or something around it, highlighter, because this is something people will forget. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must switch the inequality sign. And I'll tell you why after you're done writing.
That's what today is.
It's not your birthday, this is what I did past. 2 hours early out.
Correct.
Oh,
Get it.
So excited.
Get happy, weird, get over.
Oh, I have to
that
make
was
sure
so
I'm
good.
And then,
Make someone else card.
yeah, I haven't done it yet. Kill my Alexa to set a reminder. See, here's a reminder.
For like Valentine's Day card?
No, it's her birthday.
Oh, wow.
No. Oh, wait, I found out. It's Thursday? I think tomorrow, actually. I don't remember. Yeah.
Okay, you better make it for today, so what?
Today is Wednesday.
Generation.
Already,
So.
Wednesday, 2 years ago already, where she had her accident.
Oh, no, that was Monday.
All right, ready? So here's the reason why you have to do this. The inequality sign doesn't understand the rules when you multiply and divide negative numbers. So if you think about it, when you multiply a positive and a negative, what do you get? A negative, right? If you multiply 2 negatives, it gives you a positive. The inequality sign doesn't know those rules. Like the inequality sign can't think about those rules. So you have to be the one to flip it to help make the sentence true. Another thing it doesn't understand her number line. It doesn't understand that, like, it mirrors itself. That's another thing that the sign doesn't understand, so we have to make it to help make the sentence true, okay? So here's an example of this, all right? So I have negative 2g is less than 10. Now you all know how to solve the problem. You know, what are you gonna do? Divide by negative 2, right? To get your problem, your answer, so divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. If this number right here is negative, switch the sign. Inequality sign, not like the positive or negative sign. It's the inequality sign. So this answer is going to be G is greater than negative 5.
Yes.
So if the number with the variable is negative,
It has to switch.
the inequality sign. Yep. So here's another example. I'll give you another example. Do I need that yet?
No.
Okay, this is another example of when you would switch the sign. So let's say I have negative 3g is greater than or equal to negative, 21. I'm going to divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. This one is negative. Switch. So it'll be g is less than or equal to 7. Let me show you a time where you don't switch it. Has everybody got this on their paper?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you a time when you do not switch. I have 4g is greater or less than negative 12. And divide by 4, divide by 4. I do not switch on this one. Why not?
Because
Nope. What has to be negative for me to switch it?
the other number.
Other number. This one does not matter. Absolutely does not matter. It's this one that matters, not negative. Don't switch. So the answer would be 4, or I'm sorry, G
Be
is
negative.
less than -3. Yep. Oops. So, I don't know, I hit something down here. So, you're switching when the number with the variable, look at every number with my variable is negative, that's when I switch the sign. If the number with the variable is not negative, I do not switch. This number right here absolutely does not matter. Okay? Now let's do one with division now, because the division, you also use it there. Okay, so here's one, it says x divided by -3 is less than or equal to 4. How am I going to get rid of this again? What am I going to do? I have to multiply. So I multiply by -3. So guess what? Negative, switch. So it's going to be x, and I'm going to multiply by -3 over here. So the x is greater than or equal to -12. That's the time where you switch. Is this, I'm going to get rid of this. Is this a time when you would switch?
Yes.
Is this a time when you would?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because that was
The
a
negative 2. No, it doesn't matter if they're both negative. It matters what number has to be negative.
Oh.
Number, this one does not matter. If this number is negative, then this thing has to switch. So yes, this would be a time. Is this a time? No. Would this be a time?
Yes.
No. What has to be negative? That 3, right? So anytime, I'll just talk about it again, that number with the variable has to be negative for you to switch that inequality sign. The other sign does not matter. Yep.
Could the x ever be a negative? Like, could it ever have a negative?
Yes, but not listed. Yes, but not listed. Okay. All right. Does everybody know when you have to switch it, when you don't? Yes. Okay. The one with the variable has to be negative. The other one doesn't matter. Okay. The last one I'm going to talk about today is writing them like we did the other day. If you could write them yesterday, you can write them today. But remember, today we're only multiplying or dividing on one side, not adding or subtracting. So this says 4 times a number is greater than 12. What's the key word in there for the sign? What's the key word? Greater than. So greater than 12. Okay, now what does this look like? 4 times the number. 4x. Sure. So again, your homework today is going to ask you for the inequality, which you just wrote, and it's going to ask you for the solution. Now, how would you solve it? Divide by 4, divide by 4 on both sides. X is going to be greater than 3. Yep. Just like we did yesterday, they're asking for the inequality and the solution. Not today. I took that one out for today. Okay. All right. So the quotient of a number in 5 is greater than 20. So what would this look like? First of all, what's the key word for the sign, Matthew?
Is greater than.
Okay. So greater than 20 again. Okay. And then this part. What is this part? The quotient of a number in 5. What's a quotient?
Oh, it's a number.
No, dividing. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So what's that side look like? The quotient of a number.
X over 5.
Yeah, like x over 5. That's all it looks like. The quotient of a number in 5 is greater than 20.
4.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not
But
4.
we can get,
How do you solve it?
It's 250.
Multiply by 5.
Oh, no.
Multiply by 5. Your answer can be x is greater than 100. Yeah, you do. Okay. A few other words that mean multiply product. If you would say the product of 3 and a number, that means multiply. But really, for the most part, division, quotient is the only one that you use other than divide. Okay? So just know the difference between your numbers. All right, so what I'm going to have you do in your notebook, I'm going to give you a problem. I want you to write the inequality. I'm going to give you the inequality. I want you to solve it, and I want you to graph it. So here's an example. Do this in your notebook. 9. I want you to solve, and I want you to graph. Yeah, question. No, you didn't graph it yet.
There's no way they didn't.
I got it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
You got a lot.
Yeah.
Solve it, graph it.
Just about coordinating. That's how bad it
Solve it, graph it. See if you can remember everything you talked about.
is. Easy.
Solve it, and graph it. Let's talk about the solution first. We don't have the solution right, your graph is wrong. So, when you solved it, what'd you do? Somebody tell me, what'd you do?
Divide by negative.
Okay, divide by -3, divide by -3. G, and on this side you get 3. What's my sign?
This way.
3 is greater than 40.
You mean to the
B is less than.
This is what it looks, or, yep, other way around. That would be fine. Do you see why I had to flip the sign?
Yeah.
Because this was a negative number, so you have to remember that. If you didn't flip it, your graph's gonna be wrong now. So it'd be 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. What's that?
You don't need to write it to the right. Just write it to the
What?
left.
If G is less than, it should look like this.
And you
And
go
this
that way. And you don't need to write it all. You do?
Get rid of Q.
I only started at the number that.
Oh.
you
So you don't write anything else?
No, I only started with the numbers that I needed. I didn't take the 4 and 5.
Oh, you just did 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
And you did that on your homework too.
Just make sure, if sometimes people get lazy and actually do this, well, how do I know that they even know which way their number line goes?
Yeah.
So you have to have some kind of numbers on there so I know, you know.
At least put 3. Like what is this? 3, 4, 5.
Okay? All right, last one. Do this
That's
for
a
me.
7.
Do this for me. What's that? It's supposed to be a high.
It's a 7.
No, it's not. It's fine.
What do you think, Tim? Let's get a mathematician in.
Okay, do this one. Solve it. Graph. Solve and graph. Think about if you have to switch the sign or not in this one. Do you have to switch the sign?
No.
You don't? You don't? You do not have to switch the sign.
From your jellies.
All right, Matthew, what'd you get for an answer? For this solve part?
I got D and then the 7 and then a line underneath and then.
The 7?
It's not a 7.
Yeah, it looks like 7.
That's what it should look like. That what you have? Not a 7, but okay, whatever. D is greater than -9. Everybody gets confused on negative numbers. To be this,
Negative 8.
if D is greater than, it should go this way,
Yeah.
towards those numbers. Careful.